Have you ever found yourself questioning whether the people around you truly care about you? Not through their words or fleeting promises, but by their actions. Stoic philosophy offers valuable insights into understanding the true nature of relationships. It teaches us that the value of any relationship lies not in superficial gestures, but in the respect we are shown and how we are treated. The Stoics remind us to recognize disrespectful behavior, not only to protect ourselves, but to affirm our intrinsic value and choose relationships that nurture our well-being. Respect forms the cornerstone of any meaningful relationship. Without it, even the strongest connections can crumble, leaving behind an uncomfortable truth. Those who disregard you do not truly care about you. Although this realization may be difficult, it is an essential lesson for cultivating relationships that genuinely uplift and support you. In this article, we will explore 8 common behaviors of people who do not care about you through the lens of Stoic philosophy. By recognizing these behaviors, we can make conscious choices about the relationships we invest in. Let's begin our exploration by uncovering the first of these behaviors. 1. Self-centeredness. The absence of mutual care. Selfishness in relationships is akin to a shadow that dims the light of genuine connection. It takes without giving, leaving us emotionally drained. The Stoics, particularly Marcus Aurelius, emphasized the importance of cultivating relationships based on mutual respect and care. As Aurelius famously said, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be one." This principle extends to how we engage with others. Our time and energy should be spent on relationships that are reciprocal and enriching. When someone consistently neglects to prioritize you or fails to show up for you, it is a sign to reflect. Their absence is not just a vacant space. It serves as a valuable lesson about the worth of your time and emotional energy. Recognizing your value means understanding that waiting for someone to change or prioritize you is an injustice to yourself. True care is demonstrated through presence, not through empty promises or occasional gestures. Imagine a friend who remembers the smallest details about your life and shows up during your darkest hours. In contrast, consider someone who only reaches out when it's convenient, but disappears when you truly need them. The former exemplifies genuine care, while the latter underscores a lack of emotional investment. By prioritizing relationships with those who show up for you consistently, you cultivate connections that strengthen rather than deplete you. The imbalance that comes from selfishness is inevitable. A self-centered person always prioritizes their own needs above all else, often masking this behavior with fleeting acts of kindness. They may remember your birthday, but fail to empathize when you share a personal struggle. This imbalance can drain you emotionally, leaving you feeling unappreciated and exhausted. In such cases, stepping away from the relationship may be the most stoic response, protecting your own peace and making room for healthier connections. Take the example of Emma, a woman deeply committed to her friendship with Sarah. Emma was always there for Sarah, offering support and initiating plans. However, when Emma faced personal challenges, Sarah was nowhere to be found. She frequently cancelled plans and redirected conversations to her own issues, leaving Emma feeling unseen and undervalued. Inspired by Stoic teachings, Emma recognized that this one-sided dynamic was draining her energy, so she chose to let go of the toxic friendship. By doing so, she freed herself to nurture more balanced and supportive relationships. This behavior highlights the importance of recognizing self-centeredness in relationships. It is not about harboring resentment, but about gaining clarity and taking actions that protect your well-being. The Stoics encourage us to avoid the trap of unbalanced relationships and instead invest in those that are rooted in mutual respect, care, and reciprocity. 2. Constant criticism, the undermining of confidence. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus once remarked, "It is not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." Criticism, when constructive, can help us grow, offering guidance and insights that lead to improvement. However, constant and unrelenting criticism serves a different purpose. It is often an attempt to diminish our self-worth and emotional well-being, leaving invisible scars. Consider the story of Emily, a young woman starting her career at a new company. Her manager, rather than providing encouragement or constructive feedback, relentlessly criticized her every action. When Emily proposed an idea, it was swiftly dismissed. When she completed a project, the response was either cold or suggested that she could have done better. Over time, Emily began to question her abilities and lose the confidence she once had. The criticism wasn't a reflection of her potential, but rather a power play from her manager, seeking to diminish her value in order to elevate their own position. This behavior of constant criticism undermines a person's sense of self-worth and creates an atmosphere of negativity. It highlights a lack of care, as true concern for someone's growth would involve offering constructive guidance and support. When someone's behavior becomes consistently critical, it is essential to recognize that their intentions are not aligned with your well-being. Instead of fostering growth, such criticism often stifles it, causing self-doubt and emotional pain. A Stoic approach to dealing with constant criticism involves understanding that the fault lies with the critic, not with you. Recognizing this allows you to maintain your inner peace and avoid internalizing hurtful words. As Epictetus reminds us, we cannot control the actions of others, but we can control our reactions. Responding to criticism with clarity, confidence, and self-reflection empowers us to rise above unwarranted negativity and continue pursuing our personal growth. 3. Emotional manipulation, the use of guilt and fear. Emotional manipulation is one of the most insidious forms of behavior from those who do not truly care about you. This tactic involves using guilt, fear, or other emotional triggers to control or influence your actions, often for their benefit. Manipulative individuals create a power imbalance in relationships, making you feel responsible for their feelings or well-being, even when it is not justified. Take the example of Brian, who finds himself in a friendship with someone who constantly makes him feel guilty for not spending enough time with them. They may say things like, "I'm so lonely, I don't know what I'd do without you," or "I always make time for you, but you never make time for me." These statements, while seemingly innocuous, are designed to manipulate Brian's emotions and guilt him into prioritizing the manipulator's needs over his own. This behavior creates an unhealthy dynamic where Brian feels obligated to constantly cater to the other person's emotional needs, even at the expense of his own well-being. The Stoics caution us against such manipulative tactics, urging us to be aware of attempts to control our emotions. A relationship built on genuine care and respect does not require manipulation or guilt. Instead, it is based on mutual understanding, where both parties acknowledge and respect each other's boundaries and emotional needs. In dealing with emotional manipulation, the Stoic response is one of clarity and self-awareness. By recognizing when manipulation is occurring, you can step back and reassess the relationship. It is essential to remember that you are not responsible for someone else's emotional state, and you are not obligated to sacrifice your well-being for the sake of another's comfort. A healthy relationship is founded on mutual respect, not emotional control. 4. Inconsistent support, the fluctuating friend. In any relationship, consistency is key. People who truly care about you will offer consistent support, especially during times of need. However, individuals who do not genuinely care often exhibit inconsistent behavior, offering support only when it is convenient for them or when it serves their interests. Take the case of Jack, who has a friend, Tom, who is often unreliable. When Jack needs help with a project or emotional support during a difficult time, Tom is nowhere to be found. But when Tom is in a bind or needs something from Jack, he expects unwavering assistance. Over time, Jack begins to feel like a tool for Tom's benefit, rather than a valued friend. The Stoics advise us to assess the consistency of the support we receive from others. True care is evident when someone consistently shows up for you, regardless of the circumstances. Inconsistent support, on the other hand, is a sign that the relationship may be more about convenience than genuine connection. When faced with inconsistent support, the Stoic response is to detach emotionally from the need for validation from unreliable sources. By doing so, you free yourself from the disappointment of unfulfilled expectations and focus your energy on relationships that provide the support and care you. 5. Lack of accountability. The avoidance of responsibility. People who do not care about you often avoid taking responsibility for their actions. When things go wrong, they are quick to place blame on others, deflecting any accountability that could help the relationship heal or improve. This lack of accountability reflects a deeper disregard for your feelings and needs, as it prevents meaningful resolution and growth. Consider the story of Sarah, who has a partner that refuses to take responsibility for their mistakes. Whenever issues arise in the relationship, they are always blamed on external factors or on Sarah herself. This constant avoidance of responsibility creates a cycle of frustration and resentment, leaving Sarah feeling unheard and unimportant. The Stoic approach to such behavior is to recognize the importance of accountability in any relationship. True care involves acknowledging one's mistakes, apologizing when necessary, and taking the necessary steps to make amends. A lack of accountability, on the other hand, is a clear indication that the person does not value the relationship enough to invest in its growth and healing. 6. Lack of empathy. The absence of understanding. Empathy is the ability to understand and share the feelings of another person. When someone lacks empathy, they fail to connect with your emotions, dismissing your experiences as unimportant or irrelevant. This lack of understanding creates emotional distance, making it difficult to maintain a meaningful relationship. Take the example of Lisa, who often shares her personal struggles with her friend, Mike. Instead of offering support or understanding, Mike brushes off Lisa's feelings, saying things like, "You're overreacting," or "It's not that big of a deal." This lack of empathy leaves Lisa feeling isolated and misunderstood, further highlighting the emotional disconnection in the relationship. The Stoics emphasize the importance of empathy in human interactions, as it fosters understanding and compassion. When someone shows a lack of empathy, it is crucial to recognize that this behavior does not reflect your worth, but rather their inability to truly connect with others. The Stoic approach is to seek relationships where mutual understanding and emotional support are present, ensuring that both parties feel seen and valued. 7. Dishonesty. The erosion of trust. Trust is the foundation of any meaningful relationship, and dishonesty is one of the most destructive behaviors that can undermine it. People who do not care about you often engage in deceit, either through outright lies or omissions, eroding the trust that is essential for a healthy connection. Consider the example of John, who discovers that his partner has been lying to him about their whereabouts and activities. Initially, these lies seem minor, but over time they accumulate, leading John to question the integrity of the entire relationship. The lack of honesty creates an atmosphere of suspicion, undermining the trust that was once shared. The Stoics teach us that honesty is a key virtue in maintaining meaningful relationships. Lies and deceit may offer temporary relief or advantage, but they ultimately lead to the breakdown of trust. In recognizing dishonesty, the Stoic response is to address it directly and, if necessary, to walk away from relationships where trust is no longer present. 8. Lack of respect. The final red flag. Respect is perhaps the most important element in any relationship. It is the bedrock upon which trust, empathy, and care are built. People who do not respect you will undermine your worth, belittle your efforts, and dismiss your contributions. This lack of respect often manifests in subtle ways, such as interrupting you during conversations, dismissing your opinions, or taking credit for your ideas. Consider the case of Rachel, who works alongside a colleague who regularly takes credit for her work and disregards her input during meetings. Over time, Rachel begins to feel undervalued and disrespected, leading her to reassess the relationship. A lack of respect is one of the clearest signs that someone does not genuinely care about you. The Stoics remind us that we must not tolerate disrespect in our relationships. We must set boundaries and walk away from situations where our worth is diminished. In doing so, we honor ourselves and preserve our dignity, ensuring that our relationships are founded on mutual respect. Deserve. Conclusion. Choosing relationships wisely. Through the lens of Stoic philosophy, we have explored 8 common behaviors of people who do not care about you. Recognizing these behaviors is crucial for protecting your emotional well-being and building relationships that are rooted in respect, care, and mutual support. The Stoics encourage us to live with clarity, prioritize our values, and seek out relationships that foster growth and resilience. By becoming aware of the behaviors that signal a lack of genuine care, we can make intentional choices about where to invest our time and energy. The Stoic approach is not about cultivating resentment, but about gaining clarity, setting boundaries, and choosing relationships that truly enrich our lives. As Seneca wisely said, associate with those who will make a better man of you. By surrounding ourselves with people who value us, we create an environment that nurtures our growth and well-being. In the end, the Stoic principle of living purposefully and respecting our own values will guide us in building relationships that align with our true worth. Let go of those who do not care and make room for those who will uplift you. This is the path to living a life rooted in genuine connection, respect, and fulfillment.